This episode of About Wings is brought to you by the Werkzeug H, one of my favorite cafe, restaurant, bar thingies in Vienna. This time on About Wings, you get to meet the people that I'm leaving behind. I'm getting used to the van life. I get really scared. I don't know if I can do this. And then it happens. This is me, Robin Raindrop Catcher. And this is Hermes, my van and my home. After getting my driver's license in Upper Austria, Hermes and I were about to go on a great adventure. On my way to Vienna, I really wanted to make 2 stops. Both of them are in Lower Austria. The first stop, you can find a house that was newly purchased and is getting renovated right now. Purchased and being renovated by my dad. I really wanted to see what he has come up with, and it's incredible what he has done within those 2 months. He showed me around a bit and I was really impressed. My entrepreneurial spirit I definitely got from my dad's genes. We really like to talk about creative business ideas. The next stop would involve a birthday party. This is the house of my grandmother, and this is my grandmother. She was struggling with toothache, but that wouldn't stop us from getting a really sugary cake. And after explaining to my cousins where I was going, it was time to get going. Oh, Vienna. There are many cities that I could call my home, but Vienna and I, we have a really strange sort of hate-love relationship that really keeps me coming back frequently. One of the things I really don't like about Vienna is its autumn. But I really wanted to see my friends and say goodbye properly. Even before I had Hermes, I knew exactly where I would park when I'm in Vienna. It's in an outer district of the city. On one side of the street, you can find houses, and on the other side, you have the most gorgeous views of sunsets. Also, people don't really bother you when you just leave the door open and reveal the inside of your van. Oh, how I was longing for this moment. I'm serious, drinking tea in my van was part of the big dream. I got used to living in a van, and funny enough, on this very unusual street, actually I found another camper with people from Finland who were traveling towards Greece. But there are not only nice sides to the van life. I've been having that problem of my mattress getting wet because of condensed water, because there's so much cool air beneath the bed and the warm me on top of it. So basically I've got the moldy mattress cover now. But as far as I can see, the mattress itself didn't suffer. That's really good. God, I'm so happy right now. So basically I can wash the cover and put it back on and hopefully find some other solution for that. Another little horror story was when Hermes wouldn't let me start the engine anymore. The battery was dead, and so it needed to be replaced. Turns out, this is actually one of the most expensive batteries on the market, with its 200 euros worth. Hopefully, it will really last me for the few years that were promised. Wow, so schnell hat noch nie angestartet. It was important to me to say goodbye properly, and so I threw a party in one of my favorite locations in Vienna. I could park Hermes there, and everybody got to draw on him. We all had a really good time, and I was surprised how many people turned up from my past and from my present. And now, let me make an introduction. Where do I start? Well, without any order, I introduce you my friends, the people that I'm leaving behind, and this is definitely not the easiest task of this adventure, leaving behind your friends and the people you really care about. So, let's start with...
Most of my friends call me Bernie. I come from the Philippines.
Bernie is like a mother for me, like a second mother. And I actually call her that, she's my second mom.
I cannot live a day without movement. Doing yoga, I feel so relaxed, but all the more after doing it. Being newly born.
In times when I didn't have the best climate with my own family, she and her family were basically my family anchor, I guess. Bernie is actually the mother of Tara.
I think being creative is the best thing that I can spend my time with.
Wow, she's been through a lot, and still she's got this vibrant, positive attitude, and I really love that about her, and I really enjoy spending time with her.
I like to draw, but I also like to make videos sometimes when I go longboarding.
A really dear friend of mine, and has helped me through a lot of evil times. Who else is... Armin. Armin is... wow,
Durch Feld und Wald zu schweifen, mein Liedchen mögt zu pfeifen, so geht's von Ort zu Ort, so geht's von Ort zu Ort. I'm a singer till the moments I can remember of my life. I was singing. Well, you know this little air from Schubert, which is called the Musenzone, and my close friend Robin reminds me a bit on this Musenzone, who is really trying to go around the world, to fly, to dance, to move, especially to move.
Armin has been a mentor for me for years. He is a very creative person and works a lot with spirituality, and Armin is the most balanced person I know. He's actually getting education to become a kindergartner. Now he's around children all the time, and all of a sudden he's like, I don't want to be balanced, I want to be angry if I'm angry.
Everywhere in the whole world, wolves, dolphins, grizzly bears and kids know how to play. It's called original play. They play with children like wolves play with each other. And I wish that I could play this way with all of my friends, with people I meet on the street, but I think we're not that far.
He really loves to share energy and share stories and emotions. Armin was actually the person who sponsored the first episode of About Wings. He's a singer and he's a vocal coach as well, so dervocalcoach.com if you're in Vienna and you are looking for an amazing singer who is really good at teaching. Yeah, and who else is there? Tim. There's this saying in Austria, you can steal horses with somebody. The actual meaning of it is obviously not that you're stealing something, but it basically means that those people are up for a lot of funny stuff and funny situations, even if they're a bit risky sometimes, that you can go through tough times with those people, and Tim is definitely one of those people.
Ich bin ein leidenschaftlicher Kreativer, der nie genau weiß, was er damit anfangen soll oder will. Und ich denke, das ist auch das, was Robin und mich verbindet.
When he feels something or he's got an idea, then he has to act upon it immediately. Sometimes that's going in a good direction, sometimes it's going in a negative direction, but this doesn't matter. I really like the energy that people like him bring to the room just when they have an idea. It's about, oh my god, I need to do this now. Then, who else is there?
Ich bin die Dani. Nein, warte.
I met Dani actually back then when I was still going to school, and she was my best friend back then for 1 year.
Ich mag gerne Pflanzen. Und Tiere?
Dani and I couldn't be any more different. Like, she's a very creative person as well.
Ich zeichne gerne. Also ich bin auch gerne kreativ.
Dani likes following plans and patterns, and you can see that in her creative works, and she does that in her life as well. She wants to have a husband and child and a dog and a house, and you know, all those things that in this constellation don't really appeal to me.
Zeichnen oder nähen oder alles mögliche, Modell bauen, singen. Falsch, aber ich tue es. Fotografieren, was man halt, woran man halt das Sinn gerade ist.
It's funny because we still understand each other even though we don't understand each other. It's kind of hard to say. It doesn't matter, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It really doesn't matter if we understand why we like each other. It just happens to be that way. And then there is Peter. I've met Peter only, like, when was it? About 1 year ago? It was 1 year ago, oh my god. Such a long time actually, because all of the other friends that I told you about, I knew for years, and he's actually the most recent one.
Ich bin der Peter, ein Schwabe in Wien. Immer wieder neu verliebt in die Stadt und immer wieder traurig, dass du jetzt gehst. Leider. Was wichtig ist, wenn man mich verstehen will, ist, dass für mich ein Konzept sehr wichtig ist, das manchmal, glaube ich, als altmodisch gilt. Das ist etwas, ich finde das Konzept Pflicht ganz wichtig. Engagement, Politik, sich einzubringen, das sind Dinge, die für mich einfach wichtig sind.
He's this very intellectual person and very into politics.
Ich bin ja engagiert bei der USI Wien, aber auch politisch.
He brought me a bit back into this activism thing. I don't really do it, but I'm more aware of it again. There is a big issue with gay marriage and certain laws in certain countries that need to be resolved, and that's exactly why people like Peter are really important to this world.
Ansonsten bin ich aber auch jemand, der, glaube ich, ein ganz guter Freund ist.
Peter and I, we frequently have our tea dates. Or had our tea dates where we would meet either at his place or in a cafe or at my place, and just, you know, drink tea for hours, like 3 liters of tea each, until we're both like, ah! But Still, it's been 1 year. Can you believe it, Peter? Peter, when you see this, can you believe it? It was 1 year already. Alright. I think I've got everyone covered. I hope so.
Robin! Oh, Robin is a very inspiring person, so I think you should meet him. Yeah.
Robin ist ein wahnsinniger Wunderkeks.
Robin, der Nomade, der vor kurzer Zeit in mein Leben getreten ist und irgendwie mit einer Mischung aus Liebenswürdigkeit und Vehemenz nicht mehr ging irgendwie.
A very talented person, artistic, creative. It's just like I imagine him to be a tree with different kinds of fruits.
Robin is my son, actually. And sometimes we have a sort of such a deep relationship that I call him a son because he inspires me like a son.
Robin ist immer auf der Suche nach dem Glück, findet es auch dauernd, verliert es auch ständig und sucht dann immer von Neuem.
Robin ist jemand, der
sehr gute Ideen hat und sie dann auch umsetzt und Freigeist und sich absolut nicht, ja, wo wir schon Diskussionen hatten, absolut nicht in die Gesellschaft eingliedern möchte.
Der einen mitreißen kann mit der Begeisterung, die er aufbringt für seine Projekte, für seine Ziele, fürs Reisen ganz besonders und der hin und wieder mal einen gehörigen Schuss Fernweh verpasst.
I really appreciate what he's doing at the moment and I want him to go ahead and really go for it. Robin, go for it! Go for it and discover yourself and discover more of what this all is about.
Well, this was a bit awkward, but from all this praise, let's go back to our party. We actually celebrated until the early morning hours, and it was a big success. I'm really grateful for everybody who turned up, and it's really hard to leave you all behind. Thank you for everything. And then there are moments that I would rather not show you. Well, prepare for drama. Seriously, this is so frustrating. You work months to get to this point and it all seems like it would work out. So, things have turned quite ugly recently. For once it seemed like everything would be working out, like all the financial stuff would finally fall into place because, you know, I'm doing the right thing, I'm going back on the right tracks. And my projects have always got the tendency to, well, succeed on a social level, but less on, you know, the financial levels. And I was feeling that something was different this time, and that it was kind of meant to be that I go this way. I've tried and I've worked and tried and nothing seems to work. I've got this client, or this potential client, and I'm still waiting for money from him. I get really worried, like on my bank account there's literally €1 at the moment. And I've tried to downsize on many levels. If you don't have any money, it's really hard to travel anywhere, and you know, the thing is, it's getting cold here in Austria. I really need to move towards south. Hermes might be insulated, but he's not insulated that well. Like, I'm trying to find some sort of money source. I was actually trying to set up a Kickstarter campaign to get the money for the van and for the whole project. And after I got the van, basically as a gift, I stopped the production of this video for the Kickstarter campaign, and because I just thought, you know, I have the basics, I didn't need more.
I don't know if I can do this.
So yeah, maybe it was a really stupid thing to stop this Kickstarter thing, and so I've decided to do something similar and set up a new, to set up a Patreon page now. That might be a good idea, I guess. After all. Fucking hell. This is nuts. So the police warned the people because of an orkan that was coming towards Vienna around midnight. And I guess this must be it. There's stuff falling on the roof. Cars have slowed down so badly. That one actually stopped. Oh, now I know why they stopped. Oh my god! I've been driving in circles for hours, and I'm just realizing I'm so lucky that this thing didn't fall on me. There's a huge branch out there lying on the street. In the middle of the street. This is so scary right now. Okay, I gotta call the firefighters now because somebody's gonna put that thing away.
I should mention at this point that shortly after this I found the first sponsors for the first 2 episodes of About Wings. But also, it got really cold. And so, it was time to move on. There was one last thing to do in this beautiful city. Autumn has left its trace on the Werkzeughaus. But I couldn't imagine a better place to leave my little mark than the location where I celebrated this amazing party with my great friends. There is a lot to remember here, and I'm sure I will come back, and it won't take too long. But for now, despite the constant fear of loneliness and frequent worries about money, there was one thing to pursue. That's called a dream. But there is one person who put it into words quite brilliantly, so I'll leave the word to her.
Just go out and do whatever your heart desires, follow your heart. I think it doesn't make sense if you do something just out of money, but if it makes you unhappy. Of course you need money to survive, but I think if you really want to do something, you will always find a way, and if not, you will find an excuse. So yeah, just do what makes you happy, as I already said, and yeah, what you desire, and fight for it if you really want it. Peace.
From now on, we're going south. Next time on About Wings, we're entering Italy. I'm falling in love with Venice. We visit a car graveyard, and I almost managed to bring myself on the lower side of a human one. You really enjoy About Wings and you're wondering, how can I support this project? Well, there are 4 easy ways to do so. First of all, share it with your friends. There are sharing buttons all over the website. Go ahead. Secondly, you can hire me. I'm a graphic and web designer. I work online, but if I'm in your area, I also do film, you know, so like as you can see and so, you know. Thirdly, if you're a company, I'm taking sponsors for every episode. The sponsor will be mentioned in the beginning of the episode, and if it fits within the episode, then also within the episode. And last but definitely not least, if you are not a company but you want to support the project financially anyways, you can hop over to my Patreon page. Patreon is really simple. You can pledge an amount of money that you want to donate every time I bring out a new episode. But don't worry about getting broke if I have a really productive month, because you can set a monthly limit. Every supporter on Patreon will have the chance to see behind the scenes of About Wings as well. The more money you pledge, the more features you will get. But it doesn't matter how much you give, you know, it will help me if you give me $1 per video, if you give me $2, $5, $10. That's awesome. I really appreciate every amount, and you can't imagine how much it means to me to see that people really like what I do and what I do with this project. So, if you want to support me in any way, go ahead. I just told you the 4 ways to do so. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're making this happening, and fuel is not cheap. And you can turn the episodes of About Wings into fuel. Thank you.